Tonight on Chronicle, it's a new eco-friendly alternative to display your ornaments.
Sometimes you reach a certain point in your life when you want to kind of scale back a little bit and sort of tone it down. And we think this is a nice stylized way to kind of keep that idea of Christmas look, feel, and just a little bit more eco-friendly.
How an Exeter man builds his festive trees. Handling through 350 years of winter traditions and holiday celebrations. Strawberry Bank's Candlelight Stroll.
It's fun to watch, particularly the kids, as they walk into these houses that they've never seen before, into a time period that they haven't known. And even adults, too, to kind of take a step back.
Plus, Fritz Weatherby's New Hampshire.
A New Hampshire woman gave us Thanksgiving. That same woman gave us Christmas as we know it. I'll tell you the story on New Hampshire Chronicle.
That's next on Chronicle. Let's face it, most of the things we love about the winter holidays are also pretty stressful.
Many of us cross over into the new year feeling as if we've just run a marathon, happy but exhausted.
And maybe that's why so many of us get wildly enthused about holiday light displays. They're one of the only parts of the season that truly bring unadulterated joy.
And this year, New Hampshire has a place where that joy is just overflowing. Now, this is the gift of lights at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
It's a drive-through light park about a mile long. You turn on your radio, you enjoy some Christmas tunes, take in all the wonder.
And right now we are kind of in the zoo. You can see behind us we have a dragon behind me and all sorts of zoo animals, baby rhinoceroses, cats, you name it. And it is cool to look at. So many different things and they all sparkle.
Yeah, and some of the proceeds go to Speedway Children's Charities, which is great.
Yep, and hey, you know what I meant to ask you? Got your tree up yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. Well, if the thought of trimming and decorating is, well, a bit too much for you, there is a new tree in town that might be what you're looking for.
Yes, it's a sustainable eco-alternative to a traditional Christmas tree that can add a bit of art and drama to a tabletop during the holiday season.
Come with us to Exeter to see how this festive tree came to be.
Basically, I have a notebook that I carry with me really all the time. And just during the day, if I have some ideas or I see something, I do a few sketches in here. Just sort of playing around with different ideas. We're a Festive Tree company. We're out of Exeter, New Hampshire. And we make and design alternative wooden Christmas trees. It was Christmas Eve, like I said, around noon, and my 16-year-old son, who's autistic, had asked me where the tree was, and I told him it doesn't look like we're going to have a cut tree this year, and he was pretty disappointed, and I felt terrible. So I basically went into the garage, and I had an idea in my head, sketched it out pretty quickly, and just started on my table saw and bench, and made a prototype, and brought it in the house, and we decorated it and put the lights on. One of our neighbors, Lori, had stopped by and came into the house, and she looked at the tree and said, "Well, that's interesting." She goes, "You should make those." And I thought to myself, why not? This is the original prototype from circa December 24th, 2010. We made this that afternoon, yeah, Christmas Eve. Started around noon and ended around 5:30 out here, freezing. But Alex had a Christmas tree for the season. I think we found sort of a niche spot for people who want something a little bit different, out of the ordinary. The basic one is this one here, the Norwegian, and we also have a People's Tree. The design is kind of based on the Norway spruce with the sweeping boughs. You can set this up and break this down in a matter of minutes. I think cut Christmas trees are great. I have had them for years too, but you know, sometimes you reach a certain point in your life when the kids are kind of grown and on their own, and you know, you just, like I said, you want to kind of scale back a little bit and you know, sort of tone it down, and we think this is a nice stylized way to kind of keep that idea of Christmas look, feel, you know, and just a little bit more eco-friendly. And I like clean, crisp, you know, and I guess my trees sort of reflect that, I suppose. I always liked wood, yeah, just the whole idea, the natural part of it. And my background is I graduated as a landscape architect, so the tree connection and the nature and you know, the outdoor environment has always been something I love, you know. And I always love to draw and sketch and do that type of thing. But the physical part of making this has been really a satisfying thing for me. The first year for an artificial tree, if that's the look that you like, is great. But after a year or two, they get smushed, twisted, they can get dusty, and they never really look quite as good. And more than just that, they're made from polyvinyl chloride, so it's a real toxic substance, you know. It's not something you want to throw in a landfill, and eventually people do toss those.
Oh Christmas tree, of all the trees most lovely.
We've used a poplar for the people's tree, and this one is a cherry, and part of the reason is for the look, but part of the reason is for durability and strength as well. Compared to a live cut Christmas tree, the ornaments that you hang on this, you can see the whole ornament. It's not buried deep within sort of the boughs of a real tree or artificial tree, and it also can carry a lot of weight. I think on this one here, I think there's probably 40 ornaments you can put, 40 or so. You know, it's with you from year to year. You know, you don't have to really you're not buying one, tossing it away, and getting another one. This is something you'll always have. It began as a hobby, but the more I get into it, the more I like it, the more opportunity I see. And you know, I guess all of us are seeking sort of that artistic outlet in your life, you know. And for me, this is what it's become.
Christmas tree, Christmas tree, with seasonal leaves and changes.
Coming up, the magazine that changed Christmas forever.
Coming up next.
You go from something that's 1811 to the 1940s. And so, you know, those houses are just a great example of the change over time, which is what Strawberry Bank is so much about.
The old-fashioned way of sending Christmas cards is not a thing of the past, according to our viewers. Tracy Eastman Lang posted, "I still send lots of cards, haven't cut back on this. I cherish each card I receive as I think of the person who took the time to remember me at this most special time of the year." Aaron Sharkey wrote, "I just filled out some tonight. I can't afford much, so it's one way I can show I care and make contact." We love to hear what you're thinking. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or go to WMUR.com/Chronicle and drop us a line. Up next, a stroll through history. How would you like to slow down for a bit this holiday season? Well, it will involve a little time travel back to simpler times through 350 years of winter traditions and holiday celebrations. All of it by candlelight. Come stroll with producer Cindy Jupp Jones through 4 centuries of historic homes, all decked out in their holiday regalia at Portsmouth's very own Strawberry Bank.
Oh, Merry Christmas! Come in, please.
So they're held together inside of a ring. That's right. So
Wow, isn't that pretty?
When you walk in, I think the first thing that strikes people, the hundreds of luminaria, the candles lighting the paths and the lanes. You know, there's a 10-acre site that just unfolds for people with the candlelit paths, the big bonfire that's going. You see the carriage rattle through with the horse pulling through, and you can hear him walking down the lanes. I think people, as soon as they kind of step past that visitor center, really are in a different place. This is actually the 30th anniversary of Candlelight Stroll, so it did start in 1979. Candlelight Stroll is a really magical holiday experience. Come to Strawberry Bank Museum. We have 4 centuries of histories in these wonderful houses. So the houses are decorated to the time period that they're interpreted to. So you might walk into our Goodwin mansion and see what a Victorian Christmas would look like in very different decorations than what you might have in your own home. Or you come to the Shapiro house and that family is celebrating Hanukkah, and the different traditions, the foods that are cooked, the smells that you smell, the sights, and really interact with history in a way that you wouldn't have a chance to otherwise. We have our costume role players in the houses that will invite you into their house, tell you their story about their family, how they're celebrating. And there's a lot of musical performances, choral groups, wonderful music in our cider shed. And so it's really just a wonderful atmosphere to come and enjoy the holidays.
It's one of our favorite events. We make the gingerbread house every year, and so we come to see that, and it's just a really lovely way to celebrate the holidays for us.
It's fun to watch, particularly the kids, as they walk into these houses that they've never seen before, into a time period that they haven't known. And even adults too, to kind of take a step back.
Girls tonight, they're in the living room having a sleepover.
We have a few houses at Candlelight Stroll that I think really resonate with people. The Goodwin Mansion, this is the home built in 1811 that was the home of the Civil War era governor